now move on to the call-in itself, and we do it in order of submission. Councillor Palmer was the first to submit. Councillor Palmer, you have the officers and cabinet members, please, if you'd like to step forward. Councillor Rams, Councillor Thomas. The way I'm going to organise it tonight is, Councillor Palmer, if you present your call-in initially, then there'll be a response from the cabinet member, then Councillor Moore to present her call-in, a response from a cabinet member, and then we'll discuss generally, and then at the end there'll be two separate votes, one on Councillor Palmer's call-in and one on Councillor Moore's call-in. So, Councillor Palmer, and if you could also, could you also bear in mind the timetable, which I hope has been distributed to you?
No timetable.
Okay. Before you start.
I have seen no timetable.
Okay.
Perhaps it's been outsourced. It'll probably take longer when it comes from Southampton, so
Darwin's even further.
Thank you very much indeed. Councillor Palmer, Lord Palmer.
All right, lots of time. First of all, Chairman, I would like to say that the reason I'm sure fellow councillors didn't ask questions are because Councillor Moore and I both called this in. These are where we will be making our points, and it seemed pointless to refer to yours because in many ways the questions would emanate from there or from here, whichever way, and it obviously is best to do it at the time it's been allocated to me. In order to call in, and I'm a substitute member of this committee, because normally it's Councillor Jack Cohen, so forgive me if I don't know all the procedures, but I had to give some reasons for calling in, and the first reason I gave as the officers and cabinet members can see, I'll deal with them in the order in which they are on the reasons for calling. The first one is the risks of entering a 10-year contract reducing future democratic actions. And the thing that worries me overall, and I just hope the cabinet members and the officers can reassure me and other people, that if Barnet enters a 10-year contract with Capita, not only is one stuck into a contract with 2 review dates, but review dates don't really let you out of the contract, they just allow you to tweak it. But it also means that when there are elections, and we still have elections in this country, when you have elections in 2014 and 2018, the councillors elected of whoever party or no party will be unable to get out of the contract. And you've really then, surely, sort of destroyed, whether it's you, Alison Moore's lot, my lot, or any, you've destroyed the purpose of democracy. And my second reason for calling in was because when this thing has been introduced, there's been a great point about government policy, and Eric Pickles, Right Honourable Eric Pickles MP was mentioned. But we discuss in Westminster, which is my day job, localism. And the localism is the heart of coalition policy. And this particular contract seems to be the complete opposite of localism. And I wonder how, as good Conservatives, you would like to justify that to the Secretary of the Mr. Pickles. And the other one, the third point, is the financial risks inherent in the contract. When and if a contract goes to Capita, all large numbers of the staff have gone. How do you get back to a situation of taking anything over when it's all gone? I mean, most companies will have a risk plan. Let me put it in another terms. Barnet has in its risk register its plan for dealing with if there was a fire. What would happen? How would we manage to run Barnet, collect council tax, deal with the matters? But if it's all gone off to Capita, and if Capita are messing up completely for one reason or another, I hope if it goes they don't, but if they do, we have burnt our bridges completely behind us, and I wonder how you can deal with that. And the fourth point is the lack of security due to Barnett's affairs being managed with the affairs of other organisations, because that's how Capita intends to save the money. It's by doing it by a lot of organisations together, ours and many other local authorities, organisations, anyone who Capita is active for, maybe the mafia or anyone, but however it is, it would all be together. And where will it be? Where will it be? Well, you know, if it's revenue and benefits, we can look to Bromley. Oh no, it's not in Bromley. Your revenue and benefits are in Carlisle because it's in two sites, again mixed up with other people. If it's procurement, now procurement is something which I, as chairman of this council's audit committee, have spent a lot of time on for a course of 2 years, and I must say we have got procurement right. It has been a real struggle, and my compliments to everybody concerned, but we brought back in a central control from it being spread around everywhere. And we brought in Leslie Meeks, with Mr. Cooper chairing it, leading it. It's brought in, and we've now got procurement under control. And procurement is difficult, whether it's here or the Ministry of Defence or anywhere else. The idea of keeping procurement running properly is difficult. But ours is going to be managed from Southampton. So, you know, oh dear, you know, it's in Southampton, and the likelihood, the human element of this, is that people are not going to run up and down to Southampton. We're going to run procurement mainly from a desktop operation. A desktop operation is not the way to run procurement. We've got into a mess in it in this borough, and it has taken us a good year, year and a half, manfully and terrifically, to get out of it, and it worries me. Then we have the next bit, which is finance, which is dealt in Swindon, that centre of finance, and I'm sure the people of Swindon will know how to deal with our financial matters. I mean, our accounts. I mean, I and the Section 151 officer, finance officer, have to sign the accounts. But I must admit, I feel I built a rapport up with Mr. Travers, who was the Section 151 officer, and his other officers. And I, as the currently, and whoever is the chairman of audit, will have to sign those accounts. And I think the idea that it's all being done in Swindon, I mean, many of us have our own bank accounts, some of perhaps we all have bank accounts, and it really is one of the most frustrating things when you're dealing with something far away, which the only way you can get it is generally by pressing a button and dealing with some robotic response. Then human resources. Well, that's going to be dealt with in Banstead. Well, it's too bad, is it? Belfast or Carlisle, or all three. And so, you know, if you're someone who is being employed or having problems with employment, or we're looking at how we manage our staff, you will say, well, they say, oh, but your records are in Belfast, or no, your appointment's being done by the people in Carlisle. And how are we going to deal with that? And then there is the last point I had was the lack of ability to audit and to call to account those that will audit, that will be charged with providing services. Now, in my role as chairman of audit, I mean, I think we run a pretty close ship. I think over the last couple of years and before, I think audit does a good job, I would say, I suppose, but I mean, even my friends from the public believe that we actually do the best that we can with the situation that we have. I would say that we solve everything, but we actually highlight things as they are. And my question to the cabinet members and the officers, bearing in mind we're talking about Capita, I'm telling you we're talking about audit. Have they a view and have they read the report from Swindon, who employ Capita and who have had problems, audit problems, with Capita's performance? And I would like your views on that. So with those comments, Mr. Chairman, because I do believe there's no point in elongating comments more than necessary. I believe that we're acting prematurely in doing this with Capita. As a local politician, I am not against elements of outsourcing. It can work, But to do it all in this contract and the other contract that's coming up in the new year, I think is really a step too far. And I would invite this committee to send it back to Cabinet, and I would invite the Cabinet to delay and postpone it, because as one of the speakers said before, this is a vast legal document which has been drawn up, I understand, by Troas and Hamlin, our legal advisors, and that Capita has made their adjustments or agreed adjustments to it, but it comes from us. But you know, at the end of the day, if it goes wrong, the people who will suffer will be the people of Barnet, not necessarily the people who are only in this room.
Thank you very much for your closing comments.